Welcome to another edition of The Metal Voice. Again, Jim and I sit here every week promoting new releases and new bands in the metal community.
Today, there's something special we're going to do. I know I've been getting a lot of letters about this. We are going to see what's behind Alan's sunglasses. Are you ready?
Drum roll, please. There we go. So the mystery is now finished, and we can get on with the show.
Get on with our lives.
This week,
Queensryche.
Queensryche.
Yeah, Queensryche.
Rycheeee. Rycheeee.
Queen of the Reich.
So this is a Ryk and roll show. Of course, Queensryche starting out of Seattle in the early '80s. You know, we're with their EP and
Their EP.
Yep. And of course, their first full studio album, The Warning. They were basically considered North America's Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
One of the reasons for that, of course, is Geoff Tate's amazing vocals and those pipes that he has, especially with that famous scream on Queen of the Reich.
You want to do it?
Nope, I hurt myself last time I did that.
All right.
They went from The Warning, and they were getting that whole metal thing, and then they come out with Rage for Order,
Which is actually one of
where
my
they
favorite
all
albums.
kind of dressed like Frankenstein's monster, Bride of Frankenstein on the backside, which threw me for a loop. It's one of your favorite Queensryche albums?
It's one of my favorite Queensryche.
This is where Jim and I go like this.
However, one of their worst fashion statements ever.
They completely lost me.
He had that little white thing in his hair.
I saw them open for Ozzy Osbourne.
So did I.
They came out in these outfits, and I mean, I don't know.
I love that album. 10 out of 10.
Then again, Ozzy was wearing sequined outfits for that
It was a
Ultimate
period.
Sin
It
tour
was a
as
period.
well. So
It was a time.
it was a time. But then they came back stronger and ever with Operation Mindcrime, voted number 7 on the all-time heavy metal albums list. One of my favorites, easily one of my top 10 albums. They redeemed themselves, and then they came the heavy metal Pink Floyd with Empire, which Silent Lucidity made them a household name throughout the world. Took them to a whole, like I say, another level.
Mainstream, basically.
Fantastic, a great album, and then they came out with The Promised Land after all that success, and they lost track of me for
Started going down.
And I got back into them, honestly, Jim, with Operation Mindcrime 2.
Part 2.
And again, when you have so much success with a part 1, the part 2, it's very hard to live up to that.
I thought it was a good album.
I thought it was a very strong album. Not as strong as the first, but but a lot stronger than some of their recent releases. And then they came back with American Soldier, a little concept album. No, I actually enjoyed that one, Jim. I'll have to disagree with you. As we disagreed earlier with Rage for Order, I kind of liked the American Soldier. It was the songs were.
I thought it started off
it fit
so well.
It fit well into the concept.
I love the concept, and I love the theme, and I love the idea of it, but the songs, it's just the songs.
If you were to take the songs and just take them out of the concept and place them on individual albums, it wouldn't work. The songs would be actually pretty weak, but because it fits it out. So which brings us to Dedicated to Chaos.
Chaos.
Jim, I'll let you start.
Alan, when I first put this on, I was going, is this U2?
It's Queensryche. You never know what to expect, right? Exactly.
Look, I give them this. I'm really proud of them in the sense that they're always pushing the boundaries. They're always coming out with a new style. Personally, I don't care if they have synthesizers or piano, 17 guitars. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the songs at the end of the day. If the songs are boring, if they're not interesting, if there's no melody there and there's nothing going on, then it doesn't matter what style they're going into. Here they got saxophone coming in, which I don't mind, but I mean the songs are weak. The whole album is completely weak. I'm completely upset because I was upset about the last album. This is even worse.
Calm down, Jim.
However, I liked the first 2 songs. I thought they were kind of upbeat, cutesy little songs. Cutesy little songs. And I mean, there's some. Hold on a second, Alan. Let me just get my little piece of paper here.
Jeremy, while you're searching for those song titles, I have to agree that.
I should have this ready.
One of their strengths is you never know what to expect, but in this case, it might be one of their weaknesses.
Loving You.
Loving You.
Loving You.
And
it's spelled L-U-V-N-U. Loving You.
It's
not Queensryche.
Texting.
How about What We Do? What, W-O-T, we do. What we do.
It's all short for texting.
What we do. Loving You.
Going home. Gone? Is it one called Gone? Scott Rockenfield first of all, is one of the most underrated drummers. This guy is up there with the best of them. And I don't even think, I can't even remember hearing the drums on a lot of those tracks.
No, it's just basically, he's just keeping a beat the whole album.
It's, so we're a little disappointed, guys.
Geoff Tate's sort of singing in that safe range, which is okay. I don't mind if you sing in a safe range. It's just weak. I'm going to say weak. I'm really upset. 2 out of 10. Because I like 2 songs on the album. I mean, and the rest of the 12, 14,
They're touring,
17 songs.
guys, go out, see them on tour, make your own judgments.
And I'm one of the biggest Queensryche fans out there.
Welcome to another edition of the Metal Voice Book Club. I'm your host, Jim the Metal Guy. Beside me, Alan, the other metal guy.
A little bit of the bubbly. James?
Yes.
Much of our shows are completely unscripted. And one of the reasons for that is we've got encyclopedic knowledge of many anecdotes, stories that we've stored away from reading books.
Books, I tell you, books. What will we be reciting today, Alan? What will we be reviewing today?
Today, I am Ozzy!
Hello, Oz. Hello, Ozzy.
As well as Sharon Osbourne Extreme.
But first, Alan,
2
I will
autobiographies.
Let me recite. Let me do a little bit of a reading.
James, please.
A little bit of a reading.
Enthrall us.
Me.
What's the difference between business and thirst? I asked. Champagne? Magic? That was the beginning of the end.
Bravo. James, that book is the best book I've ever read. I mean, we know Ozzy's a character. We've all heard the stories. You read about him in The Dirt by Motley Crue.
That's right.
Def Leppard's got stories. Everybody's got stories about Ozzy's. These are his stories to the best of his recollections. I would literally stay up at night reading, have tears in my eyes, be laughing so hard I wouldn't be able to continue.
10 out of 10. I enjoyed him growing up, him working in a horn factory.
What's that, Jim?
A horn factory.
Quit whispering, Jim.
A horn factory. What he did for a living, Ozzy, in his youth, or as a teenager, young adult, he worked in a factory where they would test out car horns 8 hours a day, all week long. I mean, you could go crazy for doing something like that.
And he did.
And he did. And a slaughterhouse.
Of course, going back, that's just some of the job before joining Black Sabbath, and of course how he joined Black Sabbath, his perspective, the highs, the lows, his solo career. It's all there right through to his retirement, his breaking his neck, the Osbournes.
Who you see on stage, the guy you know on TV, this is the guy. I mean, he's witty, he's funny, he's a character, and you know what, he's got a dark side.
Jim, for me, a great storyteller is able to have you laughing 1 minute and almost crying the next.
That's
and
right.
I mean, this literally happens in this book, where he talks about going to a doctor for a colonoscopy, or that's basically, guys, it's with a rubber glove and a certain orifice in Ozzy's body. I mean, the way Ozzy describes it, we're basically immune to Novocaine. It's unbelievable. You're sitting there, you got tears of laughter, and basically this same page, the next page, is talking about Sharon's cancer and her scare with cancer,
and her book,
which you basically have tears of sadness. So again, a great storyteller. I would give it a 10 out of 10 also. Right up there with David Lee Roth, Crazy from the Heat. And then Sharon Osbourne. Of course, there would be no Ozzy Osbourne if Sharon Osbourne hadn't come into his life.
That's right.
Sharon Arden, who helped out her father, Don Arden, who was a famous promoter, handled Black Sabbath for a while. And type of promoter, type of producer, manager who would break your legs if you try to get out of a contract, the old-time English manager. And she talks about how she worked for him, how she was responsible for everything they did, and how she hooked up with Ozzy. Again, and at the same time talking about her scare with cancer, going through the Osbournes episodes, and managing other artists, like Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, who unfortunately she had to leave due to health reasons. He was making her sick. So again, this hand in hand with this, Some stories in here from Ozzy's perspective, the same stories here from Sharon's perspective. Of course, the famous Randy Rhoads airplane crash that even Rudy Sarzo talks
That's right.
about.
So now you have actually 3 perspectives,
Yeah,
and it's
off
all
the rails.
interesting to see the different take on all 3 of them.
The same stories, but from different perspectives. Thanks for tuning in
To another edition of
The Metal Voice.
The Metal Voice. www.themetalvoice.com, themetalvoice@gmail.com. See you next time.